today?
It was pretty good. We got after it. It was a lighter day today. We had our spiders on, but I feel like we got after it today.
Yeah, how were you adapted here with your first game playing? What was that like?
It was a dream come true. I felt like the weather was really nice, so it was even more of a dream. It was perfect O-line weather, perfect football weather, and I feel like just playing with my brothers, we did what we came to do. So.
How does it feel to you to be 5-0 undefeated in conference at this point in the year?
It feels great. I feel like we have a really good squad and we're really working towards going to a championship, but it starts by taking it day by day. We have La Tech coming up, so we're taking it really seriously.
Yeah, what's the message from the coaches about kind of staying focused as a big favorite? Is that something they've talked about?
That's the message exactly, just staying focused and staying close to the brand.
Your offensive line group has been really banged up this year, but yourself coming back, you guys were able to play all 5 guys over the weekend. What did it mean to that group to have some continuity? How did it make a difference?
I felt like it felt pretty good for us to have like kind of a next guy up mentality. Just like coming from the injury, staying active and pouring into my teammates. When my number was called, I felt ready to go.
How do you feel about the depth of that group now? It seems like a lot of guys have had the opportunity to play and you have more options.
I feel like the depth is really good, and if anything, it just gave us a little more experience at the O-line.
Payne, what happened with your injury situation? How did it happen, and what was the recovery like?
Yeah, so first day at pads during fall camp, I tore my bicep during a one-on-one drill, and it took me by surprise, but I actually had an injury 2 years ago, an ACL tear, and it was basically just sticking back to like what I learned with the ACL tear, and I just did the whole thing over again, a long-term injury. So going to physical therapy, locking in every day, staying in the playbook, and really pouring into my teammates. That was kind of my thought process during the injury.
Was it frustrating any during that time?
Yeah, it was a little frustrating. I feel like every ball player wants to play ball. So really, when it came to me, I just wanted to lock in because I knew the time would come.
What was the rehab process like the last couple months? Are you kind of racing the clock to be able to get back on the field? Or?
I'm not sure if it was racing the clock, but a lot of bicep curls, of course, a lot of nutrition, just trying to get the bicep strong and get my mobility back. That was the main focus right there.
When did you really start to get back into practice?
I would say about a month ago. I started to ease my way into practice, doing individual drills, just getting the body more adapted. Because when you have an injury, you kind of go through a recovery process or a return to play process, so it was just step by step.
I know before you got hurt, the conversation was around playing tackle, and then you ended up coming back at guard. Was there a little transition going on in there as well?
Yeah, there was a little transition there. That's like when I said next guy up. We had some guys banged up, and when it came time, I just bumped into guard. It's a little more less space when you're working at guard, but I feel like my preparation and like staying in the playbook throughout my injury prepared me for that. I was ready when the time came.
What's the technique difference between the two positions there?
I feel like tackle, there's more space to work with, and left guard is less space, so less setting the edge and more choppy footwork at the guard position.
Was that a kind of transition for you?
Yeah, it was a huge transition, but just having my coaches and my teammates next to me, they were able to talk me through it, coach me up, and I felt really prepared.
When was the last time you had played guard in your career? Had you ever done it before?
Yes, sir. I actually played guard at my previous school a couple of years ago before I tore my ACL, and I feel like I learned a lot about the position and had a little things in my toolbox that carried over. So when I played guard last week, I was able to use some of the skills I learned back in the day.
What was the mental roller coaster kind of like this week to go from competing for a starting job to injured and now right back into the starting lineup?
A lot of highs and lows, but I feel like during those highs and lows, just pouring into my teammates and trusting the coaches, trusting the playbook, I think that's what kind of brought me through that process.
What did you get out of your time at Northwestern? Obviously, the injury played a big role in the amount of time you played, but what did you take away from there?
Well, I feel like at Northwestern, I took away that the culture is an important aspect of a team, and really being around your teammates, because when I did get injured, you kind of like sit in the bag, but I had to learn how to build relationships and talk to people, and kind of like there's like a whole different perspective to football when you're injured. So I think that's what I learned, and I was able to carry on when this injury happened recently.
How did that injury impact your time there? You know, how did that influence how much you were playing or what your opportunities were like?
Yeah, it did influence me a little bit because, like I said earlier, there's a return to play process. So it was really just taking step by step and just really trusting the body. I think that's what it came down to, because with that ACL, there's a mental aspect to it, but at the end of the day, it's just football. You just got to go out there and play.
Were you feeling like fully 100% by the time you got here, or was that still part of that process for you?
Yeah, I felt fully 100%, and I actually had a lot of time to train with one of my trainers, Nate. He's with the O-line Mafia in Illinois, and we put a lot of time and hard work into my training process, and I felt like when I got here, I was really ready to compete.
What was it that brought you to UTSA?
Just going back home. I'm actually from the Houston, Texas area. I'm from Pearland, so that kind of attracted me, just being a little closer to home and being able to get a master's degree.
Oh, what are you studying?
I'm actually getting a master's in public administration.
Do you have an idea what you want to do with that?
I kind of want to go into human resources.
Cool.
Is that what your undergrad is? Business?
My undergrad is kind of like business oriented, but I got a bachelor's in sociology.
I got you.
Yes, sir.
The last thing, I guess, with on the field part here, what was it like to watch the amount of kind of shuffling that happened along the offensive line and how many guys were going in and out?
Oh, wow. Kind of just watching it happen, you kind of just have an itch to play. And I just knew that at some point it was going to be my turn, and I just wanted to stay focused and just rely on my teammates. So, yeah.
What were the emotions like of being able to kind of fill that role and really help out in that regard against UAB?
It felt awesome. I felt like when the time came, there was a lot of adrenaline, but if anything, it just it helped me play football to to the best of my abilities.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you.